Hey, what's going on there, Mets fans? The Bat Fry, Kenny Fry here, letting you know what's coming up on the Bat Cave here in about 1 minute. I'll be looking back to this past week's action, go over some box scores, stuff like that. Talk a little bit about the Mets versus Braves, the series that's going on currently. I'll take a look at what's coming up for the Mets, and I'll take a look at their stats. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Good morning, New York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, a little bit late, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. Hump Day! You know what day it is, baby. It's Wednesday. It is Hump Day. We're halfway through that work week, and it's all downhill from here, right? That's the point of Hump Day is, it's up one side and down the other side. It's all downhill. Got a comment here, our boy Adam Glenn saying, "What's up?" What's up, Adam Glenn? Thank you for checking out the show. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, I kind of nodded off before the show and kind of woke up. It's like, oh man, a little bit late. That is what it is. It's comes with the territory of working night shift and just got to push through, I guess. All right, so what I got planned for today's show is I'm going to go over some box scores from this past week's actual from last Wednesday to this Wednesday. All the action the Mets were in. You'll go through the box scores, talk a little bit about those games. From what I remember, I need to take better notes. Take a look at the Mets are playing the Braves currently, what's going on there, and take a look at what's coming up next for the Mets from today to the next time that I'm on, next Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And I'll take a look at some stats and talk some transactions as well. All right, so let's kick this bitch off. So let's hit the rewind button all the way to last Thursday. The Mets had a doubleheader against Detroit, a couple of rain days. I don't know if you remember last week. Last week was a wet one, at least for the first half of the week. It was pretty wet. Mets had 2 games rained out. So, yeah, push forward to a doubleheader there to finish the series off with Detroit. They lost the first game. I think it was back on Monday. I think it was April Fool's Day, if I remember correctly. Excuse me. So, game 1 against Detroit Tigers started off well for the Mets. They started off 3-0. They were up 3-0 early. After 5, you had Beatty with an RBI single. Alvarez had a 2-run double. But it all went downhill after that. So looking at the box score here real quick, our batting order this time was Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, Alvarez, Beatty, Marte, McNeil, Taylor, Stewart, and on the bump was Adrian Hauser. So top part of our lineup was still struggling. Nimmo was 0 for 4, 2 walks and a K. Getting on base those couple of times, good, but we need some hits. Lindor 0 for 4 with a walk, a K, and a run. Again, Lindor, he's hitting the ball. He was hitting the ball hard. Just not finding holes, finding gaps. Pete Alonso was 2 for 5, scored 2 runs, 3 strikeouts, and did walk once. Alvarez was 2 for 5, 2 RBI, 1 strikeout. Brett Beatty was 1 for 3 in RBI, 2 walks and a K, getting on base. Brett Beatty, good job. Starling Marte was 0 for 5 with a K. Jeff McNeil 0 for 3, but he did get on base twice with a couple of walks. Tyrone Taylor was 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. DJ Stewart was DH, and he was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Harrison Bader was a pinch hitter then, and at DH, he was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So same results, different guy. Hauser went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 3 Ks, 67 pitches. Kind of got himself into trouble a little bit. I think, if I remember correctly, he came out for the 6th inning. Kind of got himself some trouble, some walks and stuff. So they went to Brooks Raleigh. He went 1 inning. Didn't give up anything. Drew Smith, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk. Jake Diekman, 1/3 of an inning, a walk, a K. Adam Ottavino, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout. Edwin Diaz came in and was able to hold, I think it was in the 8th inning, if I remember correctly. He got 2 strikeouts, or 9th inning, 2 strikeouts. Lopez came in. He held for an inning. So it's 3-3 going into the 11th inning. Tonkin came in and got whooped up. He went 1 inning pitch, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout. What it comes down to is lack of offense, in my opinion. 3 runs is not going to cut it. We need to be scoring more around 5, 6 to be able to compete. Our starting pitching has been decent. The bullpen has been decent, but the offense just has not been there. Adam Glenn says the Mets will win the World Series. April Fools. Yeah. You can say that about the Phillies, too. I don't think the Phillies are going to win the World Series there either, pal. It's more of a Braves, Dodgers kind of season here. I think that's what it seems like right now anyway. So, yeah, so looking at the scoring summary here on the old ESPN app, I was going to write down the scoring summary. I'm like, it's retarded writing down the scoring summary and the box score. So I'll just go through the scoring summary. In the 3rd inning, Alvarez doubled, knocked in Alonso and Lindor. In the 5th, Beatty singled, knocking in Alonso. That put the Mets up 3-0. In the 6th inning, Ibanez for the Tigers hit a sac fly, made it 3-1. Ursula scored on a wild pitch by Diekman. That made it 3-2. In the 8th inning, Green homered for Detroit, made it 3-3. Like I said, then Sugar came in the 9th, held the 9th down. 11th inning, Keith doubled to left, scoring Green. That made it 4-3 Tigers. And then Ursula singled to center, scoring 2 more, making it 6-3, and that was your final. So it was what it was. Tonkin kind of struggling there. If I remember correctly, I think it was, I don't know if it was the game before or the series before. No, it was the game before against the Tigers. It was 0-0 going into the 10th, and he was the pitcher on the bump, giving up those 5 runs. I don't think they were all earned, but he was getting rocked. The dude was getting rocked, so Tonkin getting roughed up here in the early going. Adam says we have a better chance than the Mets. Everybody has the same chance right now. They're Adam, Glenn. Suck it. All right, so moving on to game 2. At this point, the Tigers are 5-0. The Mets are 0-5. The Mets fans, the sky is falling. We're never going to win a game. We will go 0-162. Carlos Mendoza will be fired. Pete Alonso is going to be traded. Lindor and Edwin Diaz are going to retire. All this stuff. The sky's falling, basically. Things are not going well for the Mets. So move on to game 2. Mets, we come out with a win finally. Finally get off the schneid here. We win 2-1. Again, offensive output non-existent, but enough to get it going here. Nimmo 0 for 1, 3 walks. Again, getting on base. That's good. Lindor 0 for 4, 2 Ks. Still hitting the ball hard. Alonso was 1 for 4 with a home run, 2 strikeouts. He was able to hit a home run in the 9th inning to tie it up. Brett Brady was 0 for 3, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 K. Starling Marte was 0 for 3. Tyrone Taylor 1 for 3, an RBI, a walk, an RBI single, knocking Beatty in. That was the game-winning hit right there. Narvaez was 0 for 2. Alvarez came in as a pinch hitter. He went 0 for 1. Bader was 1 for 3. Wendell was 0 for 2. Pitching wise, so this is one of those games where, if you remember last week's show, I talked about with McGill being hurt, what are the Mets going to do? Are they going to sign somebody? Are they going to call somebody up? They couldn't call up Budo or Lucchesi because they were on the 40-man roster, I believe, and they were optioned down to AAA, so they could not get called up until this upcoming Friday. I think that's how it goes. Unless there's an injury designation or a doubleheader where you can have 27 men on a roster then. I'm not sure about that, if that's for both games or just a second game. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But yeah, you're allowed to have 27 guys on the roster when it's a doubleheader. And so, excuse me. So what the Mets did, they didn't go out and sign anybody. The other option was call up somebody with an option that was already optioned down to AA or AAA, like a Christian Scott or Mike Vassell or whatever, guys like that. But they chose the route to go with that 27th man. They called up Jose Budo, who had a terrific spring. I'd really like to see on the roster here full time, but we'll see what happens after April 12th if they decide to call him up or what we're going to do. So in that game 2 against Detroit, he gives us a really good game. Goes more than 5 innings, which is hallelujah. He goes 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 Ks with 90 pitches. He ran into a little bit of trouble early on with a few walks, but he was able to settle in and really threw a really nice game. And then Reed Garrett, who's in my opinion has been dynamite so far. He's only gotten in a couple of games, but each game he's gotten in, he's pitched multiple innings and has pitched really well. In this game, he ends up getting the win. He went 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and 45 pitches. Did an outstanding job, Reed Garrett. So the Mets are off the schneid. They get the win there in the 9th inning. Like I said, Pete Alonso, if I remember correctly, the Pete Alonso home run, the ball was like, 8 inches off the ground. I just absolutely destroyed that ball. I can't remember I think it was 113 off the bat, 113 mile an hour. I just absolutely slaughtered the ball, killed it. So that was good to see. Tied it up. And then, of course, like I said, Tyrone Taylor with a big hit there to knock Beatty in, who drew a walk, I believe, in order to get on base. Excuse me. I'm still dealing with a little bit of a throat issue here, but I'm here. So then last Friday, Mets traveled to Cincinnati for a set with Cincinnati, 3-game set with Cincinnati on a little road trip here, on a 7-game road trip. So they go to Cincinnati. They follow up their win against Detroit with another win against Cincinnati. So that makes 2 in a row. That makes a winning streak. So, hey, the Mets are on a winning streak there. We have a comment from Eileen. What's up, Eileen? Hump day! Yes, it is. So the Mets win 3-2. We rolled the lineup out there a little bit different than the last 2 days. We went out there with Lindor. Nimmo got the day off. So we had Lindor, Alonso, Alvarez, Beatty, Marte, Taylor, McNeil, Bader, Stewart as your starting lineup. Our outfield consisted of, I believe it was Tyrone Taylor, Bader, and McNeil. And I think that, the DH was Stewart. No, it was Marte, Taylor, and Bader in the outfield. McNeil was still at second base. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Lindor in this game was 0 for 2. Did have a sac fly. Reached on a walk as well. So not a terrible game, going 0 for, but still contributing. Pete Alonso 0 for 5. Did have an RBI. Struck out once. He had a fielder's choice RBI. We'll take that. Alvarez 0 for 4, 3 Ks. Starting to struggle a little bit. Brett Beatty 2 for 4, playing really good ball. Starling Marte 0 for 4, 2 Ks. Tyrone Taylor 0 for 3, 1 run, 1 walk. Jeff McNeil had a nice home run there to pad the lead. I think the Mets were up 2-1, and he hit his home run late in the game, made it 3-1. As you can see by the final score, 3-2. We needed that extra run. We needed that insurance. So he was 1 for 4 with a home run and a strikeout. Harrison Bader 1 for 3, a run, walk, 2 Ks. DJ Stewart 0 for 1, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So on the bump for the Mets in this game was Jose Quintana. He went 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 4 Ks, 102 pitches. Much better than his first outing. It's going 5 2/3, almost got to that 6th inning. I ran into a little bit of trouble there in the 5th, and they yanked him. But a good outing for Quintana. Really like to see him get to the 6th or beyond, especially with 102 pitches. Drew Smith came in, who's having a nice start to the season as well. One inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 strikeout. He gets the win. Then you have Brooks Raleigh comes in a third of an inning, 1 walk, 1 K. Ottavino comes in for an inning, gets 2 strikeouts. And then Edwin Diaz gets his first save in over a year. 1 run given up, no earned runs, 1 walk, 1 K. Kind of struggled through this one a little bit, but still came up with the save. Good job for Diaz. Good to see him get that save. So moving on from there, the hero in that game, I guess you could say Jose Quintana, Jeff McNeil. So we had 1, 2 in a row, and we come back Saturday and we fall. So again, the Mets had the lead, couldn't hold on to that lead. We were up 5-2 after 5. Things just fell apart again. So we had our I guess you would say normal lineup in. I had Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, Beatty, Marte, Taylor, McNeil, Bader, and Narvaez, and Severino was on the bump. So Nimmo was 2 for 4, 2 RBI, a walk, and a K. Great job by Nimmo. 0 for 5 with Lindor. Really struggling up to this point. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Alonso 0 for 5 with a run and a strikeout. Brett Beatty was 2 for 5, a run, RBI, and a strikeout. Brett Beatty, good job there. Starling Marte, 2 for 4, 2 runs and a walk. Tyrone Taylor, 1 for 4, an RBI, 2 strikeouts. Jeff McNeil, 0 for 3 with a run. Run scored. Jeff McNeil's killing me. He gets up in big spots where you could really use a base hit, and he just like a pop-up. It's like a lazy pop-up to shallow, somewhere shallow in the outfield where either the shortstop or second baseman drifts back and gets it, or one of your corner outfielders just kind of light jogs and grabs it. It's really frustrating with Jeff McNeil right now because he is putting the ball in play. It's just little pop-ups are killing us. You gotta hit the ball on the line and find some holes here. Bader was 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Omar Narvaez was 3 for 4, 2 RBI and a run. And like I said, Severino was on the bump, pitched well. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 99 pitches. Much better than his first outing where he got absolutely obliterated. So his first outing, it was 12 hits, and I think, was it 7 earned runs or something like that? I don't remember exactly. I feel like it was 7 earned runs. Well, they went back, and I guess they changed the 1 hit to an error, and that kind of cut it in half. That took away a couple earned runs. So he went from an ERA of like 18 or something like that to an ERA of 5, something that looked a little bit better. But anyway, much better outing for Severino. Looked very good, looked in control, looked in command. I was reading an article before that game, leading up to that game, and I guess his first outing of the season, going throughout all spring, he had the sweeper working very well. He said that he wasn't holding it right then, after the first his first outing of the regular season. He said he wasn't holding the sweeper right. It wasn't sweeping. That's not good when your sweeper's not sweeping. And so I guess there's a couple other Mets on the team who throw sweepers, and right off the top of my head, I can't remember who they are. Was it Yohan Ramirez and Jorge Lopez, maybe? I think it was a couple of bullpen guys. But they told him that, you're holding it wrong. They showed him how he was holding it wrong. They showed him how they hold it. And he said he felt much more confident that his sweeper is going to sweep, which is good. And he went out there and he pitched well. He said 7 Ks, 2 walks, 99 pitches, 1 earned run. Good job. I would have liked to see him get past 5 innings again, especially with 99 pitches, but that's just the way it is now, I guess. Diekman came in for 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, a K. And then Yohan Ramirez was kind of just left out there to struggle through it. He got throttled. The defense kind of started taking a shit. All these wonky plays. Narvaez, behind the dish. It's absolutely awful, that game. Yeah, a whole lot of things went wrong for Ramirez, but our bullpen needed a break, and it's kind of like, Johan, you're on your own, brother. So he went 2 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run. Like I said, just got knocked around. I think he threw somewhere around like 50-some pitches, I think it was. I think it was a career high for him. So we move ahead to Sunday. The Mets are able to get back on the winning track. They beat the Reds 3-1. We rolled out the lineup of Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, Alvarez, Beatty, Marte, Taylor, McNeil, Bader, and Sean Manaea was on the bump. So yeah, like I said, the Mets came out 3-1. Again, the offense struggled, whereas the game before, where we lost 9-6, the offense much better. The defense kind of let us down. Bullpen kind of let us down in that game. So in this game, Nimmo went 0 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. Lindor finally getting off the schneid here, getting his first home run, his first RBI of the season, breaking in an 0 for like 40-something, stretch there. Or not, wasn't 0 for 40-something, 0 for maybe it might have been close to 0 for 40. I don't remember the exact number now, but it was 0 for a lot. It was so bad to the point where after the game where he was 0 for 5, the previous game where the Mets lost 9-6, there was talks of the fans doing what Philly did last year for their shortstop. I can't think of his name right now. I can picture him, the old smooth slider from the Dodgers. But anyway, the Phillies gave him a standing ovation, because he was struggling. Like, usually they're booing people in Philly. They give him a standing ovation, showing him the love, and he started playing a bit better, for a little bit, and then he was kind of back to the same old player. So now there was talk about the Mets doing that for Lindor. They said, the next time he comes home, next homestand, which is coming up in a couple of days here with the Royals and the Pirates, let's cheer for Lindor. Let's show some love, some positive reinforcement. I know his wife shared on social media some messages that she got from Mets fans, threatening to kill the family, saying they should commit suicide, they all should die. The daughter, the little kid, should have died and stuff like that. A whole lot of nonsense. And she put that out there, and it's morons like that. I mean, morons like that shouldn't be allowed to have a computer, shouldn't be allowed to have any sort of like entertainment, no TV, nothing like that. No cell phone. They should have a rotary telephone. They need to call somebody. No newspapers. Give them a coloring book and some crayons, and that's it. Because they're simple-minded, they're idiots, they're morons. Anybody that has to send some sort of hate message because your player on your team is struggling, like they should die. Like, what's the matter with you? What's the process in your head thinking, well, if I send, the wife a message, Lindor stinks, these guys should all, unalive yourselves. Like what's the process there? As you're typing that, where are you thinking that this is a great idea? I don't understand. What gives you the right as well? We couldn't do the stuff that they do. Absolutely not. Like when a field goal kicker misses a field goal. So it's one thing I never understood. A field goal kicker misses a field goal, and getting death threats and this, that, and the other, and it's there's a whole game before that field goal kicker misses that game-winning field goal. A whole game. And it comes down to the field goal kicker, and he's the one that gets the death threats. It doesn't make sense to me. You couldn't kick a goddamn 55-yard field goal between the uprights, in the wind, in the snow, in the rain. Couldn't do it. And then you send death threats. There's 99% of the people out there cannot hit a four-seam fastball that's coming out 98 mile an hour with movement. 99% of the people in the world can't do that. There's a 1% people in the world that can do that. And we send them death threats. Fat slobs send them death threats. It's ridiculous. Fans are idiots, because your players are playing well, your team isn't playing well. It's the end of the world, so you make everybody else life's miserable. It's ridiculous. They should be allowed to have anything. They should find that idiot, on X or wherever it was. I'm sure there's ways you can find out who the hell it is. You should find who it is, go to their house, cut their cable, take all electronics, give them a coloring book, maybe not even crayons. Maybe just give them a lead pencil and say, figure it out. Use your imagination because you're an idiot. So anyway, I'm getting a little bit irritated now. So Lindor, this game comes out, has a much better game, gets a double, later on gets a home run. So looks much better. So the death threats are held off for a day. He can live again. His family, they're okay to live again, walk the earth with us again. Morons. 2 runs, an RBI, a home run. Alonso was 0 for 4, 2 Ks. Watch out, Pete. Alvarez was 1 for 3 with a walk. Beatty was 1 for 4. Marte was 2 for 3 with a run, a walk, and a K. Tyrone Taylor was 2 for 4 with a strikeout. McNeil was 1 for 4. And Harrison Bader was 0 for 4. Like you said, the offense struggling again. It was nice to see Lindor kind of get off the schneid there a little bit and start, like I said, he's been hitting the ball hard. He's been hitting at people. Minaya was on the bump. He gets the win. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and 92 pitches. And that's the one thing, again, 5 innings pitched with 92 pitches. I mean, you got to figure out how to get these starting pitchers deeper in the games. Our bullpen is just going to get stretched thin. I mean, it's almost reminding me a lot of last year, last season, where our starting pitchers just could not get out of the 5th inning, or could not get more than 5 innings pitched. More than getting to the 6th inning, they had to get pulled after 5 full innings, or even before that. Either because the pitch count was high or they're walking people, they're in trouble, and they have to bring somebody else in to kind of stop the bleeding. This reminds me of this, start with our starting rotation. It just reminds me so much of last season because they're pitching well, but they're having high pitch counts and, pitching around hits or pitching around walks. And you got to figure out how to get them, deeper in the games, kind of save this bullpen for a little bit later. Eileen says, LOL, Kenny. I know I went on a little bit of a rant there. I mean, the whole death threat thing, I never understood it. I never understood it. Like I said, that the lad from the Phillies last year, the shortstop, I'm sure he was going through the same thing before they decided to turn it around, do the whole positive cheer thing for him. I can't remember. It's starting to irritate me. I can't remember his name. It was a start with a T at Trey Turner. That's it, Trey Turner. It was Trey Turner. They rode his ass. They rode his ass. I don't know if he was getting death threats or nothing like that. But then, then I see this again with Lindor, and you shouldn't have to have like, oh, next time we're home, let a homestand, let's cheer for him. Let's show him some positive reinforcement instead of sending them death threats because fans are morons. It doesn't make sense to me. I just don't ride that side of the tracks. I guess I don't know. It's one thing. You have your team. And you see your players struggle. It's one thing to get annoyed, get irritated, get upset by. That's one thing. You move on from it. That's a normal human being. These other morons out there, there's idiots that go to their computer right away or their cell phone and yeah, you should die, like that. It's like, what's the matter with you people? Like I said, they should cut the cable. Go to that person's house, cut the cable, get rid of their cell phones, give them a rotary telephone so they can call pizza every once in a while. A coloring book, like I said, maybe not even any crayons, or if they do give them something, maybe like washable markers. So these idiots are going to color the walls because that's the intelligence that they have. A 3-year-old, and because washable marker, you wash that off and it'll be fine. Because we don't want walls that are marked up by these morons. But anyway, moving on from that. Eileen says, "Don't Lindor do this?" Yeah, he does do this he starts off cold. And he heats up. He did it last season. And last season, I was on the show criticizing him. I didn't say he should die. I didn't say his family should die because that's idiotic. My opinion was he needs to start hitting. What's wrong with Lindor? And then having a talk with my good friend there, the Amish country Mets fan, Nelson. Kind of say, well, look at the rest of the stats, Ken. Because I said he should have been an all-star. I said he doesn't deserve to be an all-star with his low batting average and all this other stuff. Well, then I kind of like Nelson said, I kind of looked at all his other stats, like, well, these are near the top of the league here, especially for shortstop. You compare him to the other shortstops, it's like, all right, the guy is an all-star. I get it now. Okay, I'm turned around on this. But every season he seems to start off slow. All right, weather gets warmer, he gets warmer. A little bit of patience here. You're 10 games in, and we're sending death threats because they're idiots. Eileen says starts off slow. Yeah, that's exactly, starts off slow every year. It seems like. Well, as long as he's been with the Mets, anyway. Joe Sullivan checking in. What's up, Sully? You can check Sully out on the Sully Squad on Mondays, and also on Tuesdays. Next Tuesday they'll be back with extra innings, talking all Major League Baseball. Joe Sullivan and Cowboy Dave. Thank you for checking the Joe out, Sully. Thank you for checking this show out, Sully. I appreciate it. Eileen says, agreed, it's stupid. It is. It's just, there's no place for it. And it's like, are we not a civilized, people? Are we not, I don't get it. It bothers me. Anyway, back to the game here. I still have some things to break down before I start going off on another rant here. Like I said, Minaya pitched well. Again, I wish they can get deeper with these starting pitchers. He only went 5 innings. Was able to get his first win as a Met. Jorge Lopez pitched well again. One inning pitch, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Raleigh, 1 inning, 2 walks. We really got to cut down on these walks. Ottavino, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. And Sugar came out. Edwin Diaz got his second save and was very dominant. 1 walk and 2 Ks. So great to see that by Edwin Diaz. Excuse me. So then we move on. We finally get a series win, our first series win of the season here against the Reds at the Great American Ballpark. And again, the Great American Ballpark is a hitter's ballpark, and you expect higher scores. The one game we lost was 9-6, but Sunday was 3-1, low scoring game, and the game on Friday was 3-2, another low scoring game. So I guess it's not that quite. Usually as it gets warmer out, the balls kind of fly a little bit more. So maybe that's it, with it being cooler. But yeah, balls were not flying out at the Great American Ballpark. The one dude, I think his name's Spencer Steer. I think his last name's Steer for Cincinnati, was absolutely killing us. He had a terrific series against the Mets. He's off to a really good start. So watch out for him with Cincinnati, as they're expected to kind of push either for a wild card or maybe even the Central. We'll see what happens there. So the Mets move on from Cincinnati. They take the long bus ride down to Atlanta. I'm sure it wasn't a bus; it was probably an airplane. But anyway, because it was the next day, they moved down to Atlanta for a 4-game set with the Braves. You go in there extremely pessimistic. Even though the Mets just come off of the series win against the Reds, it's the Braves. Braves are playing well. The offense is just absolutely insane. Best offense in baseball right now. And the pitching a little iffy right now for the Braves, especially with I think it's Spencer Strider out with his UCL injury. Not sure exactly what's going on with that yet. Max Fried, struggling early on. His first 2 starts, I think it was a little bit of a struggle. But yeah, so you're expecting, you're hoping as a Mets fan you can get maybe 1 out of these 4. Hopefully the best case scenario would be a split with the Braves. Anything more than that, it would be just icing on the cake. 1 out of 4, kind of what we're expecting. I don't think we would have going into this. I didn't think we were going to get swept, but I did answer a poll on X, because that's what you do. That we would win at least 1 out of 4. So we go into that first game in Atlanta, and we come out with the win, 8-7. And what a game this was! The Braves jumped out early, 4-0. The Mets battled back, made it 4-4. Braves went up 5-4. The Mets tied it back up 5-5. Mets were up 8-5. Braves made it 8-6. They go into the 9th inning. Edwin Diaz not available, made it 8-7. Had runners on. They're hitting the ball hard. It's like, oh man, we're gonna blow it. Mets are able to hold on. Jorge Lopez, able to hold on. So taking a look at our lineup for this game, We had Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, Alvarez, Beatty, Marte, Stewart, McNeil, and Wendell, and also Tyrone Taylor came in as a pinch hitter. Excuse me. So Nimmo, huge game for Brandon Nimmo, huge game. He was 4 for 4, 2 runs, 5 RBI, 2 home run, and a walk. So he got up 5 times, reached base all 5 times. Fantastic game for Nimmo. His 2 home runs, absolutely, especially his first home run, absolute bomb. Second home run, first home run was up over the chop house. I guess that's in right field. Was it right field? Yeah, right field. Second home run, center field into the bushes. Crushed him, crushed both pitches. So Nimmo seen the ball very well in that game. 5 RBI, carried the offense. Lindor follows up his big game on Sunday with an 0 for game on Monday, so can't win for the poor guy. He was 0 for 4 with a walk. Pete Alonso 0 for 4 with a run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Got to cut down on those Ks there, Polar Bear. Francisco Alvarez, like I said, he's struggling right now. We got to get a El Troll back on the old hit list here. Got to get him hitting again. Alvarez was over 5 2Ks. Brett Beatty continuing to stay hot, 3 for 5, a run and a strikeout. Starling Marte, 1 for 5, an RBI and a K. DJ Stewart, 1 for 3, a run, 2 RBI, a home run and a walk. A huge home run. I can't remember if it was late in the game. I don't know if it's 8th inning maybe. I don't think it was the 9th. I think it was the 8th inning. Let me double check that real quick here. Pull it up on the old ESPN Gamecast where I get all my scoring information. But Stewart, was 1 for 3, a run, 2 RBI, and a home run. His home run came in the 8th inning. It was 5-5. That made it 7-5. That gave the Mets the lead. And then Nimmo came up again, and he singled to center, making it 8-5, knocking McNeil in. So McNeil, he was 1 for 2, 2 runs and 2 walks, getting on base. Jeff McNeil, that's good stuff. Wendell was 0 for 1, a run, a walk, and Taylor came in to pinch hit for him. He was 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Excuse me. And so the Mets made an acquisition a couple days before this game. We signed Julio Teheran, former Brave, and I don't know. I don't know if it was on X or if it was on the show last week. I kind of talked about it, and I wasn't overly thrilled about it. It didn't make sense to me. I'd like just call somebody up for a spot start or something like that. But we couldn't do that for whatever reason. We couldn't do that. I think we only paid him like $2 million. The contract was $2 million or something like that. It wasn't anything huge, but still, we bring this guy up. Sign him. His first game is against his former team, the Braves, and didn't go so well for him. 2 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 68 pitches. Started off all right, first 2 innings. Then the 3rd inning, they start knocking the crap out of him. A lot of hard hits. He walking a couple guys. Reed Garrett gets called in. Like I said, Reed Garrett has pitched terrific. In only 2 games he's pitched so far, but he's pitched very good. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 34 pitches. Sulser, who we just called up, he gets into the game. Goes 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 K. Started off kind of shaky. Was able to settle down that inning and get out of it. Diekman, he gets the win. Went 1 inning, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 K. Drew Smith, who's starting off really good this season. 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 Ks. And then Jorge Lopez, like I said before, Diaz wasn't available. Raleigh wasn't available. Ottavino wasn't available. So that's why Sulser was up. So this is what we were going with. So Jorge Lopez comes in for the save, and the Braves make him sweat it out. He went 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, and it was close. It was close. So the Mets get that win, feeling good about themselves. Back-to-back wins, and again, it's a winning streak. Then we come into Tuesday, and we lay an egg a bit. Wasn't a total egg, But the Braves started off. They were up 6-0 pretty quick, and they chased Hauser. Still won 5 innings, but still it wasn't a good outing for him. It started off decent, a little bit wild. Plunked Acuna. I couldn't think of his name. I drew a blank there because I hear a dog barking in the background. Acuna. Just he was a little bit wild. I had a hard time controlling it. It was missing a little bit, so I don't know if that was the issue or not. But it was a little bit of a struggle for Hauser with his control. I think he ended up plunking 2 guys, almost hit a third. But the lineup we rolled out here a little bit different. We had Nimmo. Marte was in the 2-hole, Lindor in the 3, Alonso in the 4. Went Beatty, Stewart. Taylor got in pinch hitting. McNeil, Bader, and Narvaez was catching again. And like I said, Hauser was on the bump. So Nimmo follows up his 4-for-4 game with a 1-for-5. 1 run, 2 Ks. Marte was 1-for-5, an RBI, 2 Ks. Lindor was 1-for-5. Pete Alonso was 2-for-4, a run, 3 RBI. He had a big home run, a walk, and a strikeout. Brett Beatty was 1-for-4 with a strikeout. DJ Stewart was 0-for-1 with a walk. Tyrone Taylor 1-for-2. Jeff McNeil was 1-for-4 with a strikeout. Harrison Bader was 2-for-4 with a run. And I like the Mets were struggling early on, and I think we were down. I don't know if it's when we were down 6-0 yet or not, but we were down by multiple runs. He goes out there. Bader has a nice hit. I don't know if it's the left or center, somewhere in that area. It wasn't deep or anything like that. I think it was the left fielder. Yeah, former Met cuts it off, and for whatever reason, Bader's looking at the whole way. He sees this, and he decides to go for 2 and is thrown out by a mile. I'm like, what in the hell? We need base runners at this point. You know what I mean? It's like we need people on, and this guy's trying to stretch a single into a double. I mean, just take the bag. Just take the 1 bag. Maybe if you feel a little bit, confident, go ahead and try to steal that base on Travis d'Arnaud. I know he's not the strongest arm guy out there. Why stretch that into a double when you're down multiple runs is beyond me. It really irked me when he did that, because he's seen it the whole way. He's watching it the whole way. You can see when really tried turning the Jets on, just couldn't. Thrown out by a mile. I couldn't help but chuckle, just when they kept showing the replay, because it was a decent slide. It wasn't a terrible slide if it was a closer play, but he got the ball so early. He had so long where he could see how Bader was sliding and easily tug him. It was really frustrating that hit. It was a nice hit too. Anyway. Narvaez was 2-for-3, 2 runs, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout, and I think it was the first inning. I don't know if it's Acuna or not. Stole second base, and Narvaez throws it down, and is nowhere near second base. So Acuna gets the third. It's like, and it wasn't even close. And like they're debating whether or not it was a called pitch out or not. It wasn't your traditional pitch out where the catcher pops up almost into a standing position and throws it down to second, but it was a pitch that was fairly outside. And he threw it down, and it's just nowhere near second base. Really, really wide. But at the plate, he did well. He's been doing well so far this season, I think, for the most part at the plate. Like I said, you had Adrian Hauser on the bump. 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs. Really struggled with his command. 95 pitches, 2 walks, a strikeout. Those 2 walks, he had 2 hits batsman as well. Nunez came in. 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 Ks. And Sulser made another appearance, much better than last time. 1 inning pitch, 1 strikeout. I looked more comfortable. Sulser did. So we lost last night. Play the Braves again tonight and tomorrow night. So hopefully we can get 1 more of those games and at least earn a split with the team. I got a couple comments here. Eileen says Edwin Diaz should have been available for Monday's game against the Braves. Unless you are winning by a lot, no rest for closer. So I guess I'm not really sure. I think he pitched, what was it, as like 2 games in a row. I think 1. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 games. So he pitched 2 out of 3 games. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the thinking behind it. I don't know if it's because it's still early in the season, coming off the injury and stuff like that. Kind of just being a little bit more careful with them. I think this if this is later in the season and this game means more than just an early season game, I would expect him to be out there, at least to him be available. But that's what they went with, and like I said, it wasn't only him. Raleigh and Ottavino weren't available either for Monday's game. The other big relievers in that bullpen. So and I thought, I think to be honest with you, I thought the same thing. Like, shouldn't be any day. I don't say any days off, but he should always be available for an inning. But I guess with today's arm issues with pitchers, shoulders and UCLs and all that good stuff, maybe just more rest. I don't know. I have no idea. Paying a guy a lot of money, he should be available every day. Yuki Matsui checking in, yelling out the old hump day. What's up, Yuki? Thank you for checking in. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it very much. And he also says, I feel good taking game one against the Braves. Mets might be a playoff team. And so, like, as soon as they can get their rotation straightened out, because the rotation hasn't been bad so far, hasn't been terrible. Bullpen hasn't been terrible. There's a couple of wonky spots, wonky outings by some guys in the bullpen, but for the most part, the bullpen has been fairly solid. The pitching has been the starting pitching has been fairly solid. So whether we get McGill back, or we go towards Budo again, or waiting for Senga to come back, maybe late May, early June, see what we got going on there. But once we get this rotation figured out, solidified, is it going to be a 5-man rotation? Is it going to be a 6-man rotation? What are we going to do? I think that's going to tell a lot. And also this lineup needs a little bit more consistency. One game we're getting 8 runs against the Braves, and the next game, struggling all the way up into the 6th inning. We still end up 5, losing only 6-5, but that's all because of a late charge. I think all that was in the 9th inning, 8th, 9th inning. Let me double check the old game cast here. I was at work for the last inning or two of this game, so I didn't see it. Yeah, so Alonso hit the 3-run homer in the 8th inning. That cut the lead in half. And then Narvaez doubled. Okay, I remember this. I was watching the replay then. Narvaez doubled, and then Marte grounded out. But we had Narvaez, or no, we had there was somebody on base yet. I thought we had somebody on third. I don't remember now. I thought I remembered. Now I don't remember. I thought we had somebody on third, but it was 2 outs. And yeah, I can't remember. That's driving me nuts now. But anyway, we made it 6-5, but it took all the way to the 8th inning. We have no consistency through our lineup. It's really frustrating right now. But again, much like what I was talking about earlier, when I was talking about the death threats against Francisco Lindor, it's how he starts off every season. He kind of starts off slow, and as the weather warms up, he warms up. Pete Alonso, kind of hit or miss. Sometimes he starts off hot, sometimes he starts off slow. This season, he kind of, the first series or two was looking really good. Hit a bit of a funk here on the road trip. So, I mean, it is what it is. Going 2 for 4 today, or yesterday, I mean, with the home run, 3 RBI. Maybe that's something kind of flip it for him. But yeah, it's until we get some consistency. Once DJ Martinez gets in the lineup, what's that going to make it look like? Who the hell knows what's going on with this guy? And I was thinking about this last night at work. They said he's dealing with general soreness from ramping up for the season. They're trying to ramp up quickly. I mean, I get it. All right, they're like, oh, he's 37 years old, whatever, blah blah blah, 38, whatever he is. So it's The soreness kind of lingers longer because you're older. And my thought is, what the hell is he ramping it like? So when he was off, when he was not being signed, what the hell was he doing? Was he not working out? Was he not hitting? So in football, I understand. You're running, you're hitting. There's a lot more um, physicality to it. A lot more conditioning would go to it. I would imagine. And so I understand. Needing a couple extra weeks to get ready for a season, and if you sign late, I understand that. With him being a DH not a pitcher, a DH, you needing all this time to ramp up for the season, makes me makes me wonder what was he doing before he got signed. What was he doing leading up to that? And how hard is it to hit a ball? I mean, he's taking a lot of swings. I'm like, all right, I kind of get that. Oh, my back is sore. I kind of get that. But a general soreness now to where he's day to day, and who knows when he's going to show up now. Because originally we were talking, for the series against the Braves, because he was eligible to come off to come up from the minor leagues on the last game against the Reds. But we figured, he'd skip that and just send him to Atlanta, and he'd be there for the Braves series. Now we don't even know if he'll make the Royals series when we go home. Who knows? I don't understand it. I understand soreness. I absolutely do. But I still go to work. I don't know. I think they did talk about his back, him having lingering back issues in past seasons. And I think last year he started off slow with the Dodgers. I was having back issues, and he got a cortisone shot, and that helped him a lot. I had no issues the rest of the season. And they had 30 plus home runs last year, hit 270 something. So, maybe if that's the issue, okay, I get that. If they say, hey, it's a back issue, because there's a lot of torque when you're swinging a bat, but general soreness, I mean, every time as he hit, at practice, when he's in the back lot batting cage or wherever the hell it is down there in St. Lucie, with the St. Lucie Mets. Is every time he hits the ball off the tee, is he running to second base or something? I don't understand it. I don't understand what's going on. Again, I'm not a professional athlete by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't understand the whole general soreness for a DH. They want to say his back hurts, his back is sore. Okay, I understand that. But general soreness tells me that he's sore all over. So anyway, that was my thought about it. Like Yuki said, after taking game one against the Braves, he kind of felt good about the Mets. I know I felt better about the Mets, because it's just the last thing you wanted them to do, especially in game one, is come in and get absolutely throttled by the Braves. They came in, they showed feistiness. They fell down right away 4-0, and it's like, oh, here we go. They're gonna kill us. Fought back, made it 4-4, made it 5-4, and it was 5-5. Then it was 8-5. Like I said, the final was then 8-7. Really, really good game, exciting game. And they showed a lot of fight, a lot of feistiness there. It was good. But same thing with Tuesday, falling down 6-0, going into a big lull through 75 or 80% of the game, but then fighting back in the 8th and 9th inning, just come up a little bit short. I think they had, if I remember correctly, they had a guy on. I just can't remember who it was. I just couldn't get him in. So, but we turned the page from that. Also like what Yuki said, Mets might be a playoff team. Now, before the season started, I did my predictions, and I said I do believe the Mets could win between 80 and 85 games, and I'd push for a wild card spot, which is going to be interesting to see if they can or can't. It's what the other teams do, basically. Because I do believe the Mets can be an 80, 85 win team, but with the West getting as good as it's gotten this season, with the Diamondbacks, with their signings, and making it to the World Series last year, the Dodgers with spending $1 trillion in the future, they're looking much better. The Giants, they spent some money as well, but I think they're off to a bit of a slow start, but I expect them to turn it around. So, in the Central, the Cubs are better. You expect the Reds to be there. You expect the Cardinals to turn it around this year. They kind of left a clunker last year. They have a good team. So you expect them to turn it around. The Pirates have started it off great. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I do think if they can figure out, get their rotation solidified, this is what our rotation is moving forward, and figure out this lineup, and get DJ Martinez in there and see what our lineup actually looks like with him in there. You'll get the guys start hitting. And then I think the Mets can push for it. At least be in the conversation in the mix. If they don't get a wild card, they're definitely going to be in the mix, I believe. So looking ahead to the slate of games from today to next Wednesday. Today we got the Mets are still in Atlanta against the Braves. You have Jose Quintana making a start. He's 0 for 1, 0-1 this year with a 2.61 ERA and a 1.65 WHIP in 10 1/3 innings. So this is his third start, I believe. He'll be going against Alan Winans. It's making his first start of the season. Thursday at Atlanta, we have Severino making a start. He's 0-1 with a 3.60 ERA and a WHIP at 1.60 and 10 innings pitched. Going against Max Fried, who's struggled this season. 2 games, 5 innings pitched, 10 earned runs. So he's struggling right now. And then Friday we go home for a nice homestand here. We face the Royals, they've had a nice start to their season. Minaya is on the bump. He's 1-0 with a 0.82 ERA and a WHIP at 0.73 and 11 innings pitched. Minaya's had a really good start to the season so far. He'll be going against Michael Wacha. He's 1-0, 2.25 ERA, 0.58 WHIP and 12 innings pitched. He's had a good start to his season. Saturday, the Mets are TBD as to who's going to pitch. Is Budo going to get called up? Possibly, because the Mets, we had Tehran for Monday's game against the Braves, and we went ahead and released him yesterday, which I give him the old salute. Say, see you later, buddy. I'm not upset about that. So we send, Tehran packing with his $2 million and a pat on the bottom. See you later, pal. But whoever the Mets decide to pitch on Saturday, like I said, could be Budo, Lucchesi, somebody else. They'll be going against Marsh for Kansas City. He's 1-0 with a 3.09 ERA and a 1.03 WHIP and 11 2/3 innings pitched. Then Sunday, still playing Kansas City, we have Hauser on the bump. He's 0-1 with 5.40 ERA. Last time out, he got knocked around a bit, so that's why the ERA is a little bit inflated. So this will be his third start with 1.60 WHIP, 10 innings pitched. He'll be going against Raggins. He's 0-1, 2.60 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, and 17 1/3 innings pitched. Then we play Pittsburgh on the homestand here for the next 3 after that. We have Quintana going against Perez. Perez is 1-0, 1.89 ERA, and a 1.21 WHIP, and 19 innings pitched. Then Tuesday, we got Severino going against Jared Jones. He's 1-1, 3.86 ERA, a 0.94 WHIP. You don't see that often, a higher ERA, a really low WHIP, but that tells me he's not giving up a lot of walks or hits. Just, a bad inning or so, whatever it was, inflated that ERA. That's through 11 2/3 innings. And then Wednesday, we have Minaya going again against, I think it's Bailey Falter. He's 0-0, 5.40 ERA, and a WHIP of 1 in 10 innings pitched. Excuse me. It's been almost 3 weeks now, and I've still got this tickle in the throat, and it's annoying. All right, so moving on from there. Looking at stats real quick before I go to bed. I'm just going to go through the all of our hitters, and then I'll do most of the pitchers. Excuse me. So far this season, Pete Alonso's 9 for 46, a double, 3 home runs, 6 RBI, 3 walk, 14 strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts. Need to cut back on those strikeouts. Hitting at 196 with a 673 OPS. Needs to raise that average. He talked about how bummed he was about his average last season. He wants to work on that for this season. Started off well. It's really struggled on that road trip. Hopefully, the next 2 games against the Braves, he continues smashing the ball like he did last night. Lindor's 4 for 45, a double, home run, 2 RBI, 5 walks, 6 Ks, 0.089 average, and a 385 OPS. The 5 walks do help, but obviously he needs to hit more, and he'll get there. Like we talked about earlier, he starts off slow. That's what happens. He'll heat up. Now, we have faith in Francisco, and comes to work every day, plays outstanding fielding, plays outstanding shortstop. He looks great in the field. He's hitting the ball. He's hitting the ball hard. He's just hitting it at people. So they'll start falling. Marte, 11-43, a double, home run, 3 RBI, 4 walks, 9 Ks, 2 stolen bases, hitting 256 with a 668 OPS. Brett Beatty, 13 for 40. No doubles, all singles for Brett Beatty, except for that 1 home run. 5 RBI, 3 walks, 9 Ks, a 325 average, and a 772 OPS. Brett Beatty playing outstanding, playing very good third base. He had a couple of really nice plays recently. I think it was against the Reds. He had a beautiful diving catch at third base. I think it was, I don't know if it's the end of the inning or not, but I know I think it was the Reds had a couple runners on where if that ball gets in that hole, it's a run. But beautiful, full extension, great diving catch for Brett Beatty. He's had some really nice plays, turned some really nice double plays as well from third base, which isn't easy. Doing a great job. Brandon Nimmo was 8 for 30. He's 8 for 38 this season. Double, 2 home runs, 8 RBI, 8 walk, 10 strikeouts, a stolen base. I like the walks. The walks are high for Brandon Nimmo. It's good. The strikeouts are a little bit high too. I think he'll start cutting back on that. But he's getting on base, so that's important. I want to see him get more stolen bases. 1 stolen base isn't cutting it. We want to see him on the run more. 211 batting average, 770 OPS. And that OPS just blew up with his game the other day where he was 5 for 5 or 4 for 4 with the walk. So he got on base all 5 times. Francisco Alvarez, he started off really hot. It's cooling down now. 9 of 32, 3 doubles, a home run, 4 RBI, 2 walks, 9 Ks, 281 average, a 792 OPS. Jeff McNeil, 5 for 32. He's putting the ball in play. But like I said, all these little bloops, the little pop-ups and stuff like that, getting caught. We got to start finding holes with a little bit of drive behind the ball. Nice to see him to hit a home run. He's 5 for 32, a home run, RBI, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 156 average, 520 OPS. Harrison Bader, 7 of 30, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, a stolen base, hitting 233, 491 OPS. Like I said about that game yesterday, down multiple runs, hits a nice ball to left center, and it's a single. It's obviously a single. He hit it very hard. Decides to try to stretch it a double, is out by 1.5 miles. That can't happen. If you want to get to second, take the single, steal second. Travis d'Arnaud doesn't have a terrific arm by any stretch of the imagination. We know that as Mets fans. He's not a bad catcher. He's a decent catcher. But I like Travis d'Arnaud. I liked him when he was a Met. I'm not going to root for him as a Brave, but deep down I root for him as a Brave. So, but still, no reason. We needed base runners at that point, and trying to stretch that into a double just didn't make sense to me. But I like the aggressiveness. I do like the aggressiveness, but no chance of making that. No chance. Wasn't even close. Tyrone Taylor, 8 for 29, 2 doubles, 3 RBI, 3 walk, 8 strikeouts, a stolen base, hitting 276, 689. He's playing well. I feel like he's doing a better job than I thought he was going to be doing. DJ Stewart, I would have rather seen Vientos doing this, but anyway, he's 1 for 14, home run, 2 RBI, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts. So he is getting on base through the walks. He's doing a decent job there, but 1 hit, it's not cutting it. An 071 batting average and 695 OPS. So you see that 695 OPS and that really low batting average tells you he is getting on base through walks. But still, you need more out of that DH spot. That's why I can't wait for DJ Martinez to finally get up and get in this lineup. Instead of dealing with his soreness. Omar Narvaez, 5 of 13, double, 3 RBI, a walk, 2 strikeouts, hitting 385 with an 890 OPS. Like I said, he's been hitting decent, Narvaez, but behind the plate, behind the dish, not so much. So, and that's a real letdown. It's like if you can get, I know last year Nito couldn't hit and wasn't very good behind the plate either. But the season before, 2022, Nito was terrific behind the plate, wasn't hitting much. But if you can get Narvaez's hitting right now with Nito's defense as a backup catcher, that'd be great. But it's just not happening. And Wendell's 0 for 7, doesn't have a hit yet, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and Zach Short only got into 1 game as a batter. He's pinch run a couple times, but he was 1 for 3. So that's the hitters. Before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and got a comment here from the Back It Up Binge podcast saying, "Let's go Mets." Thank you for checking out the show. Thank you for commenting. Got the little Orioles mascot there. So I assume you're an Orioles fan, which is amazing. I was talking about this last night at work. I work night shift, so I was out doing chemical sheds. It's something I do as part of my job. Where I work, and I'm talking to a coworker, just talking about teams that haven't won a World Series. We're naming them off, and somebody came out for some alcohol for some. It's like rubbing alcohol, kind of to clean surfaces and stuff. And he heard us talking about baseball, and he started talking about the Orioles, and like they've went through a really tough patch, for a decent amount of years where they weren't very good. And then, you kind of see the fruits of that. They're calling up their number 1 prospect yesterday, 20 years old. He doesn't look a day over 12. The hit a home run with the Adley Rutschman, bringing him up, 100 plus wins last season. So the Orioles are really, really looking good, looking up in a really tough AL East. So the Orioles are a lot of fun right now. The Orioles are a lot of fun. That's a team I'd like to go see. I'd like to watch. And from growing up, when I grew up watching baseball, the big thing was Cal Ripken Jr. All the kids were big Cal Ripken Jr. fans. So a lot of people liked the Orioles back then. And I think that's when Mike Mussina. I think it was Mike Mussina was pitching for him as well. Pennsylvania native. And it's good to see the Orioles back on top. At least playing well. I'd like to see them, make a nice playoff run, maybe even to the World Series. That'd be awesome. Just because of how far they've come. They're struggling for so long, and finally, getting that farm system figured out, getting rid of some bad contracts, and really taking that next step. Good on that whole franchise, that whole organization. Good job. All right, so back to the stats. Looking at pitching, Sean Manaea is 1-0, 11 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 14 Ks, 0.82 ERA, 0.73 WHIP. Jose Quintana is 0-1, 10 1/3 innings pitched, 11 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 walks, 8 Ks, 2.61 ERA, 1.65 WHIP. I got to cut down on those walks for Quintana. I think most of them came in his first outing. Adrian Hauser 0 for 1, 10 innings pitched, 11 hits, 6 earned runs. Like I said, his last outing got knocked around a bit. I think he had 5 earned runs in that his last outing. 5 walks, 4 Ks, 5.40 ERA, 1.60 WHIP. Severino, 0-1, 10 innings pitched, 14 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 13 strikeouts, 3.60 ERA, 1.60 WHIP. And like I mentioned earlier, Severino, his first outing, got shellacked, got knocked around pretty good. But then they went back and they changed. I don't remember. I can't remember who it was, but changed. I think they gave an error to Zach Short maybe at third, and that took off actually a couple earned runs off of Severino's final stat line for that game, and brought his ERA down. But his last outing, great control. Got the sweeper working. Looked very good. Jose Butto, big fan of Jose Butto. Like to see him up more. Hopefully he gets called up. Like I said, when the Mets play the Royals on Saturday, they have listed right now a TBD, to be determined, for the starting pitcher. So maybe we can see Jose Butto again, or maybe even a Joey Lucchesi, because now we can call up those guys that were on the 40-man roster that were optioned down to AAA. Jorge Lopez has a save, 5 2/3 innings pitched through 6 games, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 3.18 ERA, and a 1.24 WHIP. So he's pitched fairly well out of the bullpen. And Reed Garrett, who I've been really impressed with, he's 1-0. He only pitched in 2 games, but he pitched 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 0 ERA, 0.94 WHIP has been outstanding. In some really tough spots. When we needed like a Monday's game against the Braves, Tehran 2 2/3 innings. We needed somebody to kind of stretch that out to kind of save the bullpen a little bit. And Garrett comes in, gives us 2 1/3 solid innings, and kept us in the game. Brooks Raleigh, 5 games pitched, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 0 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. Ottavino, 4 games, 4 hits, 4 games, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, which is good for him. 7 Ks, 4.50 ERA, and a WHIP of 1. Edwin Diaz got into 5 games so far, 2 saves, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, ERA of 0, and a 0.4 WHIP. He looks like didn't even miss a beat. So far, so good for Diaz. And Drew Smith, I bashed Drew Smith all off season. We should trade him, cut him, whatever. Had a terrible season last year. There was glimmers last season, and then there was just so many clunkers where you kind of lose sight of those glimmers of hope with Drew Smith, because he does have decent stuff, does have a good fastball, and shown it this year so far. Early season here, we're early in the season, but he's 5 games, 1-0, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts, an ERA of 0, and a 1.80 WHIP. So you got to cut down those walks a little bit, but he's pitching very good. So that's what I got for stats. So some transaction news. Let me go to the notes here. Back on April 5th, the Mets signed Julio Tehran, which again, not a huge fan of, and I was kind of all over. I think it was X. I wasn't too happy about it. But again, not like the morons did to Lindor's wife. I didn't go out and send death threats or nothing like that, like idiots. On the 5th also, in order to make room for Tehran on the roster, the Mets DFA'd Tonkin. 4-7, the Mets sent Max Kranick to rehab in St. Lucie with the St. Lucie Mets. So maybe he's getting closer to being healthy. Maybe we see him in the starting rotation until Sanga's better. They called up Cole Sulser, who got into a couple games and pitched well. They DFA'd Johan Ramirez. I was kind of curious about that one. I wasn't. I don't know if he accepted the assignment or if he's going to become a free agent. I haven't heard anything on that yet. But he did a good job. He did get suspended. Throwing at who the hell was it? Rhys Hoskins. Throwing at Rhys Hoskins, he got suspended for those 2 games or whatever. But he did go out there and eat up a couple innings for us when we really needed somebody to do that to save our bullpen. We left him out there, hung him out there to dry. So I was kind of surprised we DFA'd him. I thought we'd maybe keep him around as kind of a long relief guy yet, but the Mets DFA'd him. Like I said, I'm not sure if he accepted the assignment to the minor leagues or if he decided to become a free agent. The Mets traded Michael Tonkin to the Twins for cash. They also called up Dedniel Nunez. He pitched, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Let's go back and look now. Yesterday. He pitched yesterday. And They DFA'd Julio Teheran after that debacle on Monday. So we'll see what he does, if he accepts the assignment down to the minor leagues or if he decides to become a free agent again. Either way, he gets $2 million for 2 2/3 innings pitched. I guess that's not a bad way to get $2 million. I guess, I don't know. So like I said, Mets playing better. I really started off really poorly against the Brewers, and early on against the Tigers. A couple of those rain days, the rainouts. Then you had that doubleheader. Able to come out with that win against the Tigers, get off the schneid, go 1-5, and then take that series against the Reds was huge. And come 2 out of 3 against the Reds, winning the series, and then winning that first game against the Braves and the way they did, coming back being down 4-0, coming back made it 4-4, 5-4, 5-5. They go up 8-5. They're able to hold the Braves off, get that win 8-7. Then even yesterday going down 6-0 and not really giving up. It was a little bit too late, but all the way up at the 8th inning, Pete Alonso with the big 3-run home run, and then in the 9th inning, still fighting and clawing back, getting to within 1 run. Just couldn't get that last one in. So I like the competitiveness out of the Mets. I do think that they're gonna contend for a playoff spot. They're not going to win a division. I'm not crazy, but with all the wild card spots that are up for grabs, they could contend for a wild card spot, I believe. So really pleased with Brett Baty so far. Has played an outstanding third base. Has been very confident at the plate, so much so that they're leaving him in against left-handed pitchers now. So, and I think that a lot of that stems from a game last week, I think it was, where last week or 2 weeks ago, where they pinch hit Brett Baty because he didn't start the game. Zach Short is the game that Zach Short started. There we go. A right-handed pitcher was up, so they pinch hit Short for Brett Baty. But then, was it the Reds or the Brewers? Went to the bullpen. They brought in the lefty, and the Mets just left Brett Baty up, and he crushed a home run first pitch. So, since that, you can kind of see the confidence building for him. Getting on base, hitting the ball. Now he's not hitting for extra bases, but he's still hitting the ball. He's still getting on base, and that's huge. So let's. I'm happy for Brett Baty. Good for Brett Baty, especially after last season and everything that went on. Just a rough season for him. And like I said, Alvarez starting off good, kind of slowing down now. Hopefully he can turn that around again, and heat back up. Marte not starting off too bad. Looking healthy. He's looking good at the plate, looking confident at the plate. A couple stolen bases. Looking good in the field, running balls down. Who else? Tyrone Taylor, like I said, playing well. But yeah, so let's get DJ Martinez in here. Let's rub some Bengay on his shoulders or whatever the hell it takes to get him out there on the field so he's not sore, and or cortisone shots in every joint or something. I don't know. Whatever it takes to get him out there and get him in the lineup, so we can get DJ Stewart away from the DH spot, and let's see what our lineup looks like then. Start getting some consistent offense. These last 2 games, it's nice to see the Mets score some runs, 8 runs, 5 runs, but like I said, those 5 runs last night didn't come until the last 2 innings, so it's still no consistency there, if you ask me. Pitching, bullpen. Some of these guys are just pitching outstanding. Like I said, Reed Garrett, Brooks Raleigh, Ottavino, Diaz, Drew Smith, coming out of the bullpen. Jorge Lopez, all looking good. Starting pitching, Severino last outing looking good. Minaya so far, his first 2 outings looking good. Quintana, his last outing, he looked good. Adrian Hauser, not so much his last outing, but his first outing, he looked good. So I almost give him a pass for this last one. Like I said, with the rain, you obviously could tell that he didn't have his control. He was kind of all over the place, and even the announcers brought it up on SNY. I don't know if it was Gary or I think it was Ron in the. I think it was Gary and Ron last night. I could be wrong. But they even mentioned that they wonder if maybe the pitchers, both starting pitchers, thought that it might be delayed because of the rain. They waited so long to get the tarp off, and the game did start like 5 or 6 minutes later than it was supposed to. But maybe they thought it was going to be delayed, and they just weren't quite to the point of warmed up that they should be. I don't know. That's not an excuse, but we'll see how Adrian Hauser bounces back next time he goes out there on the bump. So, all right. So before I hit the road, I'm going to go ahead and do our sponsor reads here and let you know where you can see me coming up here very shortly. We'll hit it off here with Jason Fine. Jay Fine Law. Jason Fine, attorney, Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In the Garden State of New Jersey in Cherry Hill, the offices are located on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. And in the city of Brotherly Love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices are located 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. Head on over to monkeycoldcoffee.com to get all your gourmet coffee needs. They have bourbon, chocolate chip infused coffee, toasted coconut rum, a medium roast Sumatran blend coffee. They have a organic blend, Peru La Florida. Their newest flavor, golden honey agave, really good coffee. My favorite is the toasted coconut rum, but you can't go wrong with any of those. They're also selling barrel-aged honey in honor of the golden honey agave flavor. Head on over to the swag shop, get yourself a t-shirt, coffee mug, tumbler cup, cold brew pitcher set, K-cup adapter, and don't forget that Paradise Rum Cake. All that and much, much more at monkeycoldcoffee.com. And use that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off your order. That promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports for 10% off your order at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Excuse me. Monkeycoldcoffee.com. I have I've been drinking the coffee mug here today. Yeah, good stuff. And it's not like, when I say it's good, I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt or nothing like that. I've tried these flavors, most of them. Everyone that I've tried has been very good. Toasted coconut rum is my favorite because I think when I brew it, I love the aroma that it gives off. I love the smell, and the taste is just phenomenal. The bourbon chocolate chip, again, I did that with the cold brew. I really liked it with the cold brew, but also brewing that has a nice aroma, not as strong as the toasted coconut rum, but again, really good flavor. The golden honey agave is very good. I really like that with the, I'll do it like if, on the weekend or whatever, I'll throw a shot of Jack Daniel's honey in there. It really, lifts the honey flavor up. And the Sumatran blend, the medium roast coffee for whoever, if you don't like, the flavored coffee, you just want regular, good old American coffee here. Well, it's not really from America, but you know what I'm saying. You go with that medium roast, the Sumatran blend, very good coffee, just straight up coffee, good stuff. And I also have the tumbler cup. Keeps your coffee warm for hours and hours. I think I've said on here before, I think I was up to 9 hours and the coffee was still hot. It wasn't warm. It was still hot. That's really good for a tumbler cup. So, it's not a cheap ass tumbler cup. You've seen the coffee mug. The t-shirts are a problem. They don't have fat guy sizes. I'm a little bit bigger right now. I am trying to lose weight. I am down a few pounds. I guess it's almost 30 pounds, but nowhere near where I need to be. And the cold brew pitcher, I have that easy to do, easy to set up. Really can't go wrong with it. If you like iced coffee or cold brew coffee, it's great stuff. I got a couple more comments here. Yuki said, "Thanks, Kenny. Let's fucking go Mets." I'll say it. He says, "Would you buy a purple colored Mets jersey?" I don't know. So it's I don't know if I was being trolled on Twitter, if it was just something like, because I can't believe half the stuff on the internet anymore anyway. But I did see like they're talking about the City Connect uniforms or whatever it was. and like it was basically just a knockoff of was it the Rockies maybe or something like that. It was just purple. I'm like why would they do that? Like, so I don't know if that's a real thing or not, if that's true or not. I would not buy a purple Mets jersey. I mean, I wouldn't mind buying a City Connect jersey, but if it's going to be purple, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make sense to me. Why purple? What does that have to do with New York? Maybe there is some sort of significance with New York and the color purple. I don't know, but there's so many different things you could do. Go like Statue of Liberty green, or you have the apple red, to green or something. I don't know. There's so many different ways you can do to signify the city of New York, and to go purple. I don't know. I don't know the whole thing behind it there. I seen it for a brief second on X, and I'm like, nope. I kind of the old finger and went scrolling, 40 posts past it because I didn't want to believe it. And I don't know. But I definitely would not buy that jersey. I would not buy that jersey. There were some pretty cool ones I thought earlier during spring training. They were just what the City Connect jerseys could look like, or what the City Connect jerseys should look like, or whatever. Just people doing fancy things with their computers, I guess. I don't know how they do it, but some of those jerseys look pretty neat. And but I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I would not buy the purple jersey. Would you buy the purple jersey, Yuki? What would you guys? Yeah, anybody out there watching right now? Right now we're at 59 live viewers. What would you do for a City Connect jersey? How would you make it? Signify New York. Maybe yellow, taxi cab yellow or something. I don't know. I just don't think purple's the way. I don't know. When you think New York, like, what do you think? I don't know. Yeah, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss right now with the City Connect jerseys. What they're going to do now? Like I think Philly did a decent job with theirs because they have the colors. That's their city flag colors. The yellow and the powder blue, wherever the hell that color is, and kind of city type stuff there. It kind of made sense the way they did it. But the Mets, I don't know. I'm not from New York. I don't pretend to know a lot of stuff about New York. I don't pretend to be from New York. I'm from little old Pottsville, Pennsylvania. If Pottsville was doing a City Connect jersey, we're a city, very small city. I think 15,000 or something like that. If we were doing a City Connect jersey, it'd be a Yuengling bottle because we're the home of Yuengling Brewery, America's oldest brewery. That's where it was founded. That's where it's laid its roots, and now it's going nationwide. But it'd be like something with like maybe lager green or something. I don't know. But with the whole New York thing, I don't understand it. Yuki said, I would buy the purple jersey if the purple signifies the black eyes the Mets are bashing to MLB. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I don't think that's it. There's been so many debacles with uniforms this year, like the whole, you can see through the pants thing. The name on the back is like super small, and the letters look weird. And you seen I don't know who was pitching for the Yankees a couple of 2 weeks ago, but he was absolutely drenched in sweat. And you could see all the sweat on him. We just the uniforms have been kind of rough. Like black guys. They're like black guys for the MLB this year. The whole uniform thing and I don't know who's their uniform. Is it Nike or Fanatics or whoever it is? There's doing a shit job, and it's unfortunate. Because you can do so many cool things with it. And it's the one thing I never understood with the NFL. There's so many things you could do with jerseys and like uniforms that you could make a ton of money off of this stuff. A ton of money. Just doing alternate jerseys like college football does. Oregon has 50 million jerseys, 50 million color combinations, uniform combinations. And other schools start doing that. If the NFL would just do that, just branch out a little bit. The NFL no fun league. There's so many different things you could do with these teams. For alternate jerseys, or even go back to the throwbacks. They don't do it that often, and it's a bummer. It really is, because if you're the NFL, they're already I don't know, $15 billion a year, business, that could probably push it up to 20. If you ask me, if you want my opinion on this, it could really, make them, maybe it could make them so much money where they wouldn't have to charge, an arm and a leg to watch their games on the, on the NFL, what is that, the NFL package or whatever the hell it is. Or now if you want to watch a Thursday night game or a Sunday night game, you have to get Prime or you have to get some other streaming service. You have to get that in order to watch your damn football game, which is that's a bunch of BS as well. I think baseball does that too occasionally, where they'll have a game on the Apple, or hockey does that. They'll have games on ESPN Plus instead of just regular ESPN. For all of us ham and eggers that have just regular cable, no, you need to go get ESPN Plus. And while you're at it, get the whole package. Get Disney Plus and Hulu Plus. Why the hell not, right? Now I'm starting to get pissed again. I was irritated when I was talking about the death threats against Lindor and his family. Now I'm getting irritated again talking about this. God bless. I'm not going to be able to sleep now. No, I'll be able to sleep. I'll be good. All right, so that's all I got. My rant's over there on that. It irritates the hell out of me. It's bad enough that they sell these packages. MLB extra innings. If you want to watch, games, it's MLB at bat or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. So recently I just purchased the audio version on the MLB app so I can listen to some of the games. I just didn't want to put the money out again this year like I did last year to watch the games, because at the end of the season, I couldn't watch the games anyway. For whatever reason, I'd go to watch it and it just wouldn't allow it. I could listen to it, but the whole season I'm watching games on the MLB app until like the last, month of the season, it wouldn't allow me to watch it. It's not available. It should be available. Paying $20 a month for this to be available. What the hell's going on? So now I'd say, well, I'll just get the audio. And it's like $2 or $3 a month. I'm like, all right, I can hang with that. Working class man here, a ham and egger like myself, I can hang with that. A couple bucks a month. Listen to the game occasionally. And so I go to do that, and 2 days ago, and it keeps cutting out. I have to go in, I have to close it out and reopen it, and I have perfect Wi-Fi signal. Everything's good there. It's not like I was in a shady spot where I didn't have signal. I was up in the mountains or whatever. There's no towers by, cell phone towers. No, there's plenty of signal. Starting to sweat now. But anyway, and then all the TV packages. It's nonsense. They make a crap ton of money to begin with, and it just keeps sticking it to the fan. It's frustrating sometimes. You kind of have to look for like some sort of illegal cable service or something, or like I use Dofu Sports on my phone, but even that sometimes is not all that great. And but I still can use it. I'll be, some games I'll get to watch. Like last night, I was watching the game, most of it before I went to work, and I was doing that on the Dofu app. It's free, but it's, like I said, sometimes it goes out and you have to reload it and click on a different link. And that's how I watch my hockey team, the Kings. Well, again, I'm rambling on now here. It's so for myself, you can catch me this Friday, 10 a.m. on the Silver and Black Layer. I'll be talking Las Vegas Raiders football, LA Kings hockey. And then Saturday night, 10 p.m., the Atomic Drop podcast, myself, Cowboy Dave. We'll see who else we have on. Maybe we'll have Eddie or Adam on. We'll see what happens there. So we're talking professional wrestling, WWE. We'll be talking Fallout from WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania and SmackDown after WrestleMania. And, of course, the upcoming WWE draft. And Friday I'll be, of course, talking Raiders, but also looking ahead to the draft. Not quite putting my mock draft out yet, but again, still talking about draft, quarterbacks, tackles, and all that good stuff. That's this Friday, 10 a.m. So that's all I got. Be sure to check Out of the Box Sports Out, all the other shows that we have on our network here. Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitter. X is Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if anybody out there is watching, you're a fan of like earlier we had somebody comment that has a podcast that's an Orioles fan. If you're an Orioles fan and you're like, hey, I want to do a podcast like that Orioles guy, let us know. Shoot us a message, and we'll get you started, or anything. It doesn't. If you want to just you and a buddy, just want to talk, have some sort of comedy show or whatever, pitch us the idea, let us know, and we can figure it out. I got one last comment before I'm out of here. Great show. I don't know, Eileen. I feel like I ramble on too much. I say a lot, and I feel like I'm very uninformative. I listen to these other. I'm going to go on another rant here, Eileen. Thank you. I listen to these other guys, doing these other podcasts, like Chris from CPNY Mets, CPNY Sports. He does a great job. Everything that he does, very informative. Really down to the T's, the buttons, and the whistles. I listen to a lot of Locked On Mets. That lad, he does a good job. Very informative again. And I get on here and I read some stats and talk a little bit about the games. But I feel like I'm not very informative. I feel like I'm just up here rambling, and I need to do a better job, I think. We'll figure it out. I'll get better. Yeah, that's about it. Not too much of a rant there, but if I keep going on with it, I'm going to get irritated, and that'll be it. All right, I'm out of here because I'm rambling again. Thank you for checking the show out. Thank you for commenting. Be sure to check me out next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Again, this Friday, 10 a.m. Silver and Black Lair, talking Raiders and LA Kings. Saturday, 10 p.m. WWE Wrestling. Next Wednesday, back here, 10 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. Let's go Mets.